Today we build another DIY safety jig for your workshop. How's it? My name is Dylan. This is Ply Creations, and today we build another DIY push block. This one is an upgrade over the last one we built when we were together. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I'm leaving the link on the screen as well as in the description. Go over there and check that out. However, this one can be built cheaply with readily available materials. It is simple and you can get it together in less than 20 minutes. The beauty of this version is you can use it on the bandsaw, table saw, on your jointer, and even on your router table. So let's head over to the workbench and get on with it. Let's have a quick chat around the materials we'll be using on the build. I'm building two versions and I'll show you what you need to be able to build both. The star of the show is this guy. It's a wooden trowel or a wooden float. I get them cheaply and I'll need two of them. One version you'll require a non-slip rubber surface or a mat. In my case, it's just a cheap mat for a car. Second version is you'll need a little section of plywood like this. Dimensions really simple. It's about 20 millimeters wide. Let's say 3/4 of an inch. The length is the same as the width as the bottom of your trowel. To keep it all together, you'll need some form of wood glue, as well as a contact adhesive, spray adhesive. To cut the rubber mat, sharp knife. Remember, sharp tool is a safer tool, needs to be sharp. To hold it all together while the glue dries, you'll need a simple clamp, and that is it. As I mentioned, really simple raw materials. So let's get on with the build. The first one we're building is the one with the rubber matting. Simply use your trowel as a template and cut out the rubber mat. I use a backing board while making the cutting just to protect my workbench. I have been accused of abusing my workbenches, so use a backing board, otherwise you'll just be cutting into the top of your workbench. Next is gluing it together, bringing the surfaces together, of course after the glue tacks up, bringing the surfaces together, get it in a clamp, and we're done. That's typical. Even though I've got newspaper on the workbench top, still managed to get glue on it. So quickly going to clean that up. And while we wait for glue to tack up, we're actually going to be making the second push block. Adding a heel to the back of the push block. You can put a sandpaper if you're worried about slippage in use. I find that that is not necessary. Because this is so wide and you have the heel, this is especially good for using on thinner plywoods that has a tendency to bow on the table saw. So a very useful option to have of the two. You apply a layer of glue, doesn't require much. Spread it around. On it up with the back. You can put light pressure while keeping it down. Clamp it down. The heel doesn't necessarily need to be exactly square to the sides of the push block. Get it squarish, but that's one push block down, and we go back to finish up the other one. And not only did I get spray adhesive on my workbench top, I also got it on the sides and the handle of the trowel. Luckily it cleans off quite easily with a solvent. If you're afraid that it's going to happen to you, you can also mask up the sides with a masking tape, but it cleans off with a solvent. Simple next step is you align the trowel onto the rubber matting and give it some down pressure. Once you bring the two surfaces together, it's no longer a trowel, it is a push block. You need to put some clamping pressure on it for about, let's say, an hour or so. You need even pressure along and across the surface. So you can have a backing board at the bottom and then use clamps around. What I simply do is I turn it on its side put it in my face vise, and the side of my workbench provides the pressure that I want. But 2 push blocks, less than 20 minutes. Cheap, easy, simple to build. No reason you can't have a few of them lying around in the workshop. After showing you how to build these 2, I now have 6. The one with the heel in the back is especially useful, as I mentioned earlier, when you're cutting thin plywoods on the table saw, especially when the plywood wants to bow up. The worst kickback I've ever had in my table saw, on the table saw, was while cutting bottom drawers using a thin plywood. Plywood climbed up on top of the blade, swung across and hit me in the middle of the body. Painful but valuable lesson, and this is especially good for that job. It's wide, it keeps the plywood down flush with the top of your table saw, and the heel then hooks the back of your workpiece and safely pushes through the cut. Very good option to have. I also commonly use or regularly use it to resaw on the bandsaw. I'm showing you a video of how I use my new push blocks. But that brings us to the end of another edition of Ply Creations. Really glad to have you join me. As I mentioned last time, be safe in your workshop. Remember to use your push blocks. And until I see you again, hope you have a good one. Cheers. That's a horrible mess.